C'est parti. J'ai pas encore lancé celui-là, donc on va voir. C'était Mola qui me l'avait offert, je crois. Parce qu'il était sur ma wishlist. Ok. Ok, souris. Quand même, quand tu me cliques, tu peux me dire que je dois pas le jouer en élevé. Donc des fois, ah bah c'est anglais ou allemand, donc on va laisser anglais, hein. Sous-titres. Ah. Ah non, la manette fonctionne. Peut-être baisser un peu. Nouvelle partie. Je connais pas du tout le jeu. C'est fort.
Thrilled, Miss Pendry.
Très fort.
The Raven's heir. Soon as one of them's caught, another one takes his place.
Et mes sous-titres sont
Hey,
où?
Harold, have you read this? Harold?
Merde, j'ai passé.
I don't have time
En
to
train de
play.
se spoiler.
I'm on duty.
Merde, je voulais juste afficher un menu, moi. Pour baisser le son. Parce que là, c'est l'enfer.
You're funny, but you don't look like a real cop. You don't even have a revolver.
Alt F4. On va commencer avec un son plus acceptable. Et du coup, sans skipper les cutscenes.
Thrilled, Miss Pendry.
The Raven's heir. Soon as one of them's caught, another one takes his place.
Pas de soucis, frère.
Hey, Harold, have you read this? Harold?
Harold, t'es où?
Harold? Harold, you hear me? This is no time for fun and games.
Calm down. I'm a copper. We're on the same side.
A copper? What are you doing here? And where's Harold?
Harold? Well, there's another guard back there unconscious. That's probably him. The Eye of the Sphinx. Where is it?
It's there.
Oh, good. Then he hasn't got it yet.
You mean the Raven's heir?
Shh! Turn it off. He's gonna steal the eye.
But how do you know?
Doesn't matter. All that matters is that we catch him. Do you understand?
Yeah, but
Do you understand? You and me, mate. We'll be heroes.
Might.
All right, now we just have to. Halt!
Il doit être voleur.
Stop! You're under arrest!
Chouchou. Chouchou. L'Orient Express. C'est écrit quelque chose et l'Orient Express.
Hands up!
Les mains en
I
l'air.
don't have time to play. I'm on duty.
You're funny, but you don't look like a real cop. You don't even have a revolver.
Il faudrait même partir. Qui est-il? Pistolet d'enfant.
What's your name, boy?
My name is Matthew Miller,
And where are you from,
Matthew
Matthew
Miller.
Miller?
from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. But my mom and I live in England now. She's taking care of some rich old lady. We're on our way to Venice at the moment. We're taking a cruise on a big ship.
Impressive. You've already seen half the world. I've spent my
J'ai enlevé mes
entire
sous-titres quand même,
life
hein.
in Switzerland.
Must be really boring.
And what's with the gun? What do you need it for?
It's the Raven. He was gunned down, so now I need a pistol.
Dead birds don't need guns. Nor do live ones.
You don't know who the Raven is, do you? He's the greatest burglar ever. He stole paintings from the Louvre and those priceless eggs with gold and diamonds and stuff. And Bobby Dobbs says he replaced the crown jewels with rhinestones.
I know who the Raven was. Although I don't quite buy that bit about the crown jewels. You do know these days there are thieves far more dangerous than your old Raven. 2 days ago, A precious ruby was stolen from the British Museum. There was an explosion. A guard was severely injured.
Really?
Yeah. And do you know what the papers say?
You talk too much, Constable.
Zellner, monsieur. Anton Jakob Zellner.
Or did he pull a gun on you?
No, monsieur.
Get a move on.
Inspector Legrand.
You talk too much.
It's a great honor to work with a celebrity like you.
We appreciate the support of the Swiss police, but it'd be better if you'd remain seated and keep an eye on things.
Je suis la police suisse.
But monsieur, surely I can be of assistance, somehow. I saw a safe being loaded.
We have everything under control. If you'll excuse me, I'll be in the first freight car at the back of the train for the rest of the trip.
I'm not here to enjoy the beautiful scenery. I am a good observer, and I have finally honed powers of deduction.
Thanks to that?
I watched the people on the platform in Zurich. I know, for example, that man over there is a violinist.
That would be more impressive if there weren't a violin case next to him.
And I believe that the gentleman in the next carriage is a German doctor on his way to Italy to take up a new position.
And what gives you that idea?
There's the rod of Asclepius engraved on his cufflink. And he's carrying a German-Italian dictionary.
Maybe he's just taking a holiday in Italy, following in Goethe's footsteps.
Too much luggage. And no, he's not retiring to Italy either. The suitcases are too shabby for me to believe that he can afford to retire in his late 50s.
All right then, Constable...
Zellner.
Constable Zellner. If you're such a clever fellow, what am I doing on this train?
Qu'est-ce qu'il fait sur le train, à bord du train, le monsieur? Je pense pas qu'ils sont en vacances.
I think you're guarding something.
Oh really? And what might it be?
J'en sais rien. J'ai aucune info. Je dois deviner.
Could it possibly be a jewel that's making a long and perilous journey?
You're guessing. You can't possibly know what's inside the safe.
But if that were the case...
Then I'd ask you why the train wasn't crawling with police.
C'est chiant de devoir utiliser le stick pour changer. Ce serait beaucoup plus pratique avec la croix, quoi.
You don't want to arouse attention.
Évident. But why not?
Évident.
There are enough police on this train as it is. If there were more, they'd only get in each other's way.
I can assure you that I'd pack every seat in every carriage of this train with police, if it were a matter of deterrence.
You're saying you don't want to scare off potential thieves? Ah, you're laying a trap.
That would explain why it's just me, and not the army, n'est-ce pas? All the same, I can't comment on your speculation. Well, that is impressive, I admit. But the fewer people involved, the better. Get along fine without you.
You won't.
Won't? Pardonnez-moi.
I can help, and I will help. You're in my country, and I've been ordered to assist you. And that's exactly what I'll do, whether you like it or not.
Clever and stubborn. Your commitment speaks volumes, Zellner. But this is my show, and I don't need you. Bon voyage.
But how do you know? Oh. hello.
You cheated.
I did what?
I saw you talking to the German doctor on the platform. He told you everything himself, and you were just pretending to put two and two together.
And what of it? Do you know who that is? That's Inspector Nicholas Legrand. You have to impress him if you want to work with him.
I'm going to tell on you.
You'd really tell on me? To the very policeman who shot your dear Raven?
Whoa, it was him?
Mm-hmm. Hunted and killed Europe's most famous burglar. That's how he got his start.
I won't tell him a thing.
I wouldn't either. All right, Matthew. I have to do my work now.
Everyone calls me Matt. Well, except for my mom. She calls me Maddie, as if I were a little kid.
Whether Legrand wants my help or not, I'll keep my eyes open. Maybe I can change his mind.
Alors, voulez-vous des explications sur les commandes du jeu? Pour examiner un objet, approchez-vous-en avec le stick. Sélectionnez-le avec le stick droit et appuyez sur A.
This morning I thought I wouldn't be hungry because of all the excitement. Thankfully, I bought a sandwich with me anyway.
Si vous sélectionnez à nouveau le papier de sandwich, vous verrez que le symbole affiché a changé et que le texte en bas de l'écran indique prendre le papier de sandwich. Très bien, à présent appuyez sur Y pour ouvrir l'inventaire qui contient tous les objets transportés par l'agent Zellner. Sélectionnez le papier de sandwich avec le stick analogique gauche et appuyez sur A pour afficher dans le coin supérieur gauche de l'écran. Emballez tout le monde dans le papier de sandwich. Ok. Ouvrez l'inventaire, sélectionnez le papier de sandwich et appuyez sur B pour l'examiner.
I wrapped the apple core in the sandwich paper. That way I can carry it without making a mess of my trouser pocket. Still, I'd prefer not to have to carry them all day.
Bien sûr, vous pouvez aussi utiliser les objets entre eux dans l'inventaire. Sélectionnez la serviette en papier avec A, puis sélectionnez le papier de sandwich dans l'inventaire avec A.
The napkin came with a croissant I bought at the train station. A guilty pleasure. I don't eat that either.
Débarrassons-nous-en. Jetez les descriptifs de votre inventaire dans le cendrier sur la table de Zellner. C'était pas si dur, non? À présent, vous savez tout ce qu'il y a à savoir sur les commandes du jeu. Amusez-vous bien. Et à présent, j'aimerais accéder à un menu pour voir si les sous-titres sont bien activés ou pas. Sous-titres, oui. Alors définissez oui, parce que moi j'en vois pas de sous-titres, hein. Bon, moi je les vois pas, hein.
We Swiss are crazy about trains. We don't just have a lot of railroads. We have the most beautiful ones in the world.
C'est chelou quand même. Et si je mets non, il va y avoir les sous-titres ou... Ouais, essaye non.
The Vicarage in the Mirror. A detective novel by my favorite author, Lady Clarissa Westmacott. For years now, I've been trying to convince my theater group to stage one of her plays. I'll leave it there. I'll pick it up before I get off.
Ok. C'est particulier, hein.
We Swiss are crazy about trains. We don't just have a lot of railroads. We have the most
Je sais pas s'il y a eu une inversion au niveau de la traduction ou si c'est pareil dans les autres langues.
Would you be so kind as to close the window? I don't want to sit in the draft.
Oh, pardon me.
Pardon mon cher.
The large map shows the different routes of the Orient Express. This train began in Paris and ends in Istanbul as usual. Unfortunately, it will make most of its journey without me.
Le personnage est très lourd à diriger. Hey Gao, how are you?
The violinist is a good-looking fellow, and he's traveling through the most beautiful mountain landscape in the world. But one can only hope that his violin is better tuned than he. The violinist is a... One can... Hello, sir.
Hello.
If I'm not mistaken, you're a violinist.
That's true.
A wonderful instrument. The violin music touches the
Petit
soul.
bonbon.
That's why I learned to play.
Merci.
Do you play in an orchestra?
No, orchestras aren't really part of my world.
A solo violinist. The best soloists travel a great deal and make a pile of money, or so they say.
In that case, I'm probably not one of the best.
Are you traveling to Istanbul non-stop?
No. I'll transfer in Venice to a ship. I'm on my way to Cairo.
Cairo?
I'm performing at the reception.
J'y étais il y a quelques jours avec Lara Croft. C'était un peu la fin du monde là-bas, mais...
I'm sure your recital will be a great success. But tell me, did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Anything unusual?
Persons acting suspiciously, for instance.
For heaven's sake, is there cause for concern?
Everything is in order, sir. We Swiss are just very cautious people.
I understand. No, I didn't notice anything.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
This is the first car. The coal tender should be directly beyond this door, and in front of it, the engine.
Ok, du coup j'ai vu qu'on avait un journal là. Le retour du corbeau. Ah, et un autre bonbon. Et coucou Mola, comment ça va? Alors, ceci est le carnet privé de l'agent Anton Jacob Zellner. Si vous le trouvez, merci de l'envoyer directement au siège de la police à Zurich. 23 septembre 1963. Un rubis assez précieux a été dérobé au British Museum de Londres, l'un des deux légendaires yeux du Sphinx. La presse est en ébullition, comme on pouvait s'y attendre. Elle accuse le nouveau corbeau de salir la réputation de l'ancien corbeau, car ce dernier n'avait jamais blessé quiconque lors de ses exploits. « 24 septembre. J'ai osé, je me suis présenté devant le capitaine et je lui ai dit face à face que je voulais être chargé de la mission. Il était trop surpris pour dire non. Inspecteur Nicolas Legrand, ici avec nous en Suisse, je ne peux pas laisser passer cette occasion. Mais que va-t-il faire ici au juste? London Post, 11 septembre. Legrand traque l'héritier du corbeau. D'après les informations obtenues par notre journal, Nicolas Legrand, un citoyen français de 33 ans nommé inspecteur spécial à Interpol, se charge de l'affaire de l'héritier du corbeau. Legrand est considéré par ses collègues dans les forces de police européennes comme un enquêteur perspicace et un limier implacable. Ce jeune policier a démontré tout son talent il y a 5 ans en attrapant le corbeau, le criminel le plus recherché d'Europe. Une fusillade a éclaté alors qu'il tentait d'appréhender le voleur rusé, et celle-ci s'est soldée par la mort du cambrioleur. Ah bah voilà, il a un nom français donc forcément il a tué le mec. Hein. C'est la police de France. Hein. Il faut le dire, le corbeau était très apprécié du public en raison de ses cambriolages audacieux et astucieux. Un imitateur nous nargue depuis plusieurs mois, mais même s'il laisse des plumes de corbeau sur les lieux de ses méfaits, ce criminel ne fait pas preuve du raffinement ou de l'intelligence du premier corbeau. Les 3 derniers cambriolages ont fait au total 5 victimes, dont un blessé grave, mais heureusement aucune n'est décédée. Scotland Yard, Interpol et l'inspecteur Legrand refusent de commenter l'affaire. Le Grand de Jagd den Erben des Raben. Inspecteur Nicolas Legrand. Legrand est différent en vrai, il a l'air plus vieux, plus fatigué. Il reste un bon enquêteur, mais il se dit que ses méthodes sont devenues, disons, plus intrépides au cours des dernières années. Le piège de Legrand. Legrand semble tendre un piège au nouveau corbeau. Je devrais essayer d'en apprendre plus sur son plan. Le violoniste. Un homme avec un étui à violon est assis dans la voiture de voyageurs. Il prétend être soliste. Il m'a l'air assez ivre. Ses mains tremblent. Il dit se rendre à Venise. Il doit ensuite rejoindre le Caire par bateau pour se produire au musée égyptien. Qui est le corbeau? Cherchez des indices pour découvrir l'identité du corbeau. Ok.
Very kind of you. Thanks. Oh, pardon me.
No problem. The uniform is waterproof. Mr.
Lucian. Professor Edgar Lucian.
Oh, a professor. Are you a scientist? Do you teach at the Sorbonne?
No, I work at the British Museum in London.
You don't say. So, you were, shall we say, an eyewitness to the burglary 2 days ago?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, no?
There was a lot of commotion, but I didn't really pay much attention to it.
There was a break-in in your museum, and it didn't concern you?
Well, let's just say that nothing that's happened in the last 2,000 years concerns me.
Whatever you say. The famous Inspector Legrand is on this train. I imagine you know him.
No, should I?
You don't know him? And you also don't know what he's doing here?
No. Why should I?
Just a thought. You're a representative of the British Museum. There's a guarded safe on the train.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're trying to imply. And now, please excuse me. Of course. To Venice.
Je crois que j'ai zappé. Hein.
Going to meet some colleagues.
Un bout du dialogue.
Oh, Venice. A beautiful city, or so I'm told.
Indeed. But I really have to take my leave now.
Just one more thing. Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Here? On the train? No. I can't say that I have. Although I did spend most of the time in my compartment.
I don't want to take up any more of your valuable time, but you do understand, don't you, that what concerns me is the present, and especially the robbery at the museum.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's just, I'm in rather a hurry.
You'll get in touch if you notice anything unusual, won't you, Professor?
Of course, Constable. What's this?
What's the matter, sir?
The door. I can't open it.
Ah, we'll sort it out somehow. The compartment is locked.
But I didn't lock it. I don't even have a key. I asked the steward. He was going to bring me one, but he never came back.
Someone locked it.
Find the steward. He needs to bring me the key immediately.
Calm down, Professor. I'll see what I can do.
You don't understand. I have to get back in my compartment.
All right, just wait here.
Et donc, pourquoi c'est si urgent?
You can
Un petit tour
easily lock
gratuit.
the compartment door from inside by turning a little knob.
But I didn't lock it.
Professor, if you had locked the door from in there, you wouldn't be out here.
That's true.
Perhaps a thoughtful conductor noticed that Professor Lucien wasn't in his compartment and locked it. The door is locked. I'm at a loss without a key or a proper tool. He doesn't make a very balanced impression. And he, of all people, isn't bothered by a robbery in his own museum.
Tu sais que tu parles au doigt, là.
The little label on the door reads Baroness von Trebitz. Blue blood on the Orient Express. Yes, what is it?
Whoever that is, James, ask them whether they found my purse and then closed the door. The noise on this train is driving me crazy.
You're missing a purse. Was it stolen? At the very least, I cannot find it, sir.
It was stolen.
When was the last time the Baroness saw her purse?
What?
In Zurich, on the platform, sir. I just asked where you last saw your purse.
In Zurich on the platform. James, tell him that I still had it when I got out to stretch my legs.
The Baroness says... Maybe you lost it there.
What?
The Baroness never loses anything, sir.
I never lose anything.
Very well, then. I shall be on the lookout for your purse. If I might ask you a few questions about your fellow passengers.
I thought he was looking for my purse. James, tell him to look for my purse.
The Baroness wishes that you search for her purse. But couldn't we perhaps... All right. First, the purse. I will have a look around. Thank you, sir.
Ok. Ouvrir la porte du professeur. Trouver le porte-monnaie de la baronne. Renseignements, c'est quoi ça? Je dois demander aux autres passagers chez ça où sont le porte-monnaie. Ah, ok, j'ai un indice.
I don't believe it. I never thought I'd ever meet you.
Pardon me, but we'd prefer...
It's all right, Miss Miller. I'd like to speak to the inspector.
Unfortunately, just a constable, Lady Westmacott. I'm reading The Vicarage in the Mirror right now, for the 5th time at least.
That's nice, Constable...
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
This is my companion, Miss Miller.
A pleasure. May I ask what you're doing here? Are you on holiday?
Holiday? Yes, so to speak. The first and last holiday of my life.
Madam?
I've been writing since I was a little girl. It became my job, and now I've stopped. So, this must be a holiday.
You quit writing? Impossible. I have all of your books. Your Detective Partout is my favorite character.
Then I have bad news for you.
De son prénom passe.
Years ago.
I don't understand.
I'd rather not discuss my work, Constable.
Oh, well, fine. Are you traveling to Istanbul, Lady Westmacott?
No, we are on our way to Venice. From there, we will take a ship to Cairo. As you may know, I have a penchant for archaeology. I fund a few excavations in Egypt. I traveled to Egypt by ship as a young woman. And now I'm doing it again as an old woman.
I see. As a writer, you must be very observant. Am I right? I mean, you have to study the behavior of people around you to create the characters in your novels, don't you?
I solved the mystery of human nature a long time ago, Mr. Zellner. Since then, most people just bore me.
Really? I had the impression you were eyeing me suspiciously as I came in.
What do you want to know, Constable?
There's something else. A passenger's purse has gone missing. I suppose you haven't seen it.
I'm sorry, Constable Zellner. As you know, I only deal with murder, not burglary.
Have you asked my boy yet? Maddie is good at finding things.
I'll go and do that now. About the other passengers, did you notice the man who just walked into the next carriage with a cup of tea?
I did. He seemed nervous. He was waiting at the bar for the steward, and since the steward never appeared, he elected to help himself. He took 2 biscuits.
He seems pretty young, but he's already a professor at the British Museum.
Interesting. I'll have to talk to him later, just out of courtesy, of course.
Of course. Did you notice the blonde man with the violin case?
I certainly did. He introduced himself and tried to make a good impression. People like him are drawn to wealth and fame, like moths to a flame.
But his charms failed on you.
I know him by name. David Kreutzer. He was a drain on my friend's purse.
Do you think he has a money problem?
People like him always have a money problem. No matter how much you give them, they always spend twice as much and complain that they have far too little.
Okay.
As much as I like to keep talking, duty calls.
You were right.
Madam?
I did observe you as you came in. You seemed so eager.
It's been a long time since I've had a chance to prove myself, madam.
And this is it. Your chance.
I do hope so.
Then grab it. Even small people can make big changes, as my friend Ronald likes to say.
I shall do my best.
Small people. Merci du compliment, madame. I am a small people.
The steward must have forgotten the toothpicks. Normally he would offer them discreetly after dinner.
Yep. Un petit cœur là.
Butterscotch. I've loved them since I was a child. Their only drawback, they don't play nice with false teeth. Maybe if I just suck it.
Le succès dans ta poche? Ça fonctionne comment juste?
I bought it last week at a flea market. I like it because it tells a story. I suppose the previous owner bought himself a newer one. This one still works just fine, though. Pills for my heart. I'm supposed to take one if I have trouble. My daughter insisted that I take them with me. She was strongly against this little adventure, but I wasn't about to change my mind. I won't eat any just now. It would be rather embarrassing if I met Legrand and wasn't able to open my mouth because it's been stuck shut, or because I lost some teeth.
Vu comme ça.
I suppose the steward won't object to me having a look around in his absence. Who'd have thought that one day Butterscotch would remind me of my age and of all the things I had to leave behind. The pad on which the steward writes orders, empty. Maybe he didn't use it because there's not much to do today.
Today?
I don't need the pad, but the pencil might come in handy.
Enfin, visiblement, t'as déjà de quoi écrire dans ton journal, donc...
The steward probably uses the scissors on hard-to-open packages. These days, nearly everything is sealed up tight. A colleague recently told me about dried powdered soup in small bags. I couldn't believe it. Perhaps he keeps the compartment keys in there. Locked. Where could he be? A shortwave radio. It's amazing how small these things have become in the last 10 years.
Ah, un succès pour avoir allumé la radio.
The drawer is locked. The drawer is locked.
Je peux pas utiliser mon cure-dent. Non, ok.
This is the steward's own little kingdom. But as long as he's not around, he won't be upset if I take a look.
Bonjour.
Ah, Mr.
Zelna.
Right. How can I help you?
Tell me, did you notice anything suspicious here on the train or in Zurich?
You mean, except for the fact that my suitcase was stolen on the platform? No. Is there any reason to be concerned?
No, just routine.
Constable Zelna, please don't think I'm naive. I spotted the inspector from Interpol. Legarde is his name, if I recall correctly.
Pas tout à fait.
If you say so. At the train station in Zurich, he put a cash box into the safe, and then kept close watch as it was loaded onto the train. Don't tell me that a man at his pay grade routinely tramps across the Alps just to keep an eye on cash boxes.
A cash box? Like the ones you'd find in safe deposit boxes?
Precisely. And I believe we both have a good idea just what's inside.
I do indeed have a theory, but what's yours?
A ruby was stolen in London. One of the legendary Eyes of the Sphinx. The second jewel, an emerald, is rumored to be in a Swiss bank vault, if I remember correctly. Both jewels were supposed to be exhibited together in Cairo for the first time in 50 years. It does make one wonder.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Any news about the robbery in London?
Quite something, wasn't it? It must have been professionals. The way they disabled one of the best security systems in the world. Most impressive.
People were injured.
One cannot execute a robbery of that scale without collateral damage. It seems like the Raven has finally found a worthy successor. We can look forward to new and spectacular coups.
I'm afraid I won't enjoy his exploits this time around if the new Raven is so reckless.
That's your prerogative.
May I borrow your newspaper?
You can take the section with the article on the burglary. You're interested in that bit, aren't you?
You caught me out.
Here you go.
Dankeschön.
Merci, mon brave. Dankeschön.
There's something else. Do you know where the conductor is?
I'd like to know that myself. I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He hasn't got back to me yet. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves, and didn't bother getting back on the train. If we don't crack down on vermin like them, the rabble will rule the world one day.
Well, at the moment, we still don't know what really happened.
He is not here doing his job. That's bad enough.
I meant to ask, the Baroness is missing her purse.
A Baroness? This train is really full of the creme de la creme. The Queen of
La creme de la creme.
And now a Baroness as well.
Have you seen the purse?
Unfortunately, no. Do you know Lady Westmacott? You were talking to her.
Well, I'm an admirer of her work.
Like so many others. I once read in the newspaper that only Shakespeare and the Bible sell more copies than her crime novels.
I read that too.
She must be filthy rich. As a doctor, I'd have to work 1,000 years to earn that kind of money.
Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Goodbye, Constable. It was a pleasant chat, really.
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il y a de nouveau là-dedans? Oh, il y a trop de trucs là. Baronne, les trucs. Ah mais on l'a pas encore vu la baronne. Entrer dans la voiture restaurant. Examiner l'échelle. Entrer dans la voiture de marchandises et examiner la boîte.
A box with a padlock. I suppose it contains tools for the train's crew, maybe for coupling and uncoupling the cars. At any rate, it's positioned so that it's easier to reach from the ground than from up here. Locked.
Bang, bang!
Firefly!
Have you gone mad?
I'll shoot. Hey, my pistol!
You'll get it back in Venice. I could have fallen under the wheels.
I thought you were a ghost.
Ghosts don't exist.
They do too. One just flew past the window.
Yes, sure. Now get moving.
Oh, man.
Je cherche un truc que je peux pas essayer sur les trucs ensuite.
The ladder leads up to the roof. It will be suicidal to climb up there while the train is at full speed. The wind, tunnels... No, I'll stay down here. I strongly suspect that the door is locked. No, it's open.
Ah, tu vois.
Hello? Wow.
Don't move a muscle, you feathered fiend.
Put the gun down, Robert. If I may introduce Constable Robert Oliver from the yard. And this is the revered Constable Zellner of the Swiss police, who obviously couldn't control his curiosity.
Then I was right. You really do want to lure someone into a trap.
That's none of your business.
Perhaps that someone recently struck in London.
And how would I bait my trap then?
With an eye? An eye on its way from Zurich to Cairo?
Someone has done his homework. Well done, Constable.
I hope you'll acknowledge that I, as a Swiss policeman, can undertake investigations in my own country.
Are we still in Switzerland?
I could be your eyes on the train as long as you're here in the freight car.
Oh, really?
There is a certain Professor Lucien on the train. He's an archaeologist from London.
And what's his story?
Well, it seems someone locked him out of his compartment.
Locked him out?
Well, yes. The door is locked and he's standing outside without a key.
Was it locked from inside?
It may have been. Do you think the locked door could be important?
Professor Lucien plays an important role in this story. Well then, Constable Zellner, be my eyes and ears on the train and see that Professor Lucien gets back into...
Lucien.
Report back to me when you're through.
My pleasure, monsieur. And then there's the Baroness. She's missing her purse.
Baroness.
Ah mais si, la baronne, oui, d'accord.
Interesting.
Indeed, sir.
Oui, ça, on l'a pas vu, mais on lui a parlé, ouais.
So I
C'est pour ça que son portrait dans le journal me disait rien.
Ah, why not? It's your job as a policeman. But don't expect me to be particularly interested in a lost purse.
What do you know of this Raven's heir?
He tried to blow me up.
Robert, we don't know who we're dealing with yet.
In any event, the new Raven is a more dangerous man than the old one.
How do you know it's a man? It could just as easily be a woman.
Or several men.
And anyway, how do you know that it's a new Raven?
Monsieur?
Never mind.
I go attend to the door now.
Good. And...
Good.
Zellner,
Yes?
don't bother us unless you have something new to report.
Of course. A thief might get anxious if there's too much activity in the freight car.
Exactement. Knock twice. Then we'll know that it's you.
Understood. An investigation on behalf of Legrand that takes me one step closer. If I can convince him of my competence, I might even be able to see this case through to the end.
En même temps, non. Il n'y a plus qu'à retourner en arrière parce que... Là, je vois pas quoi faire d'autre. Bon, éteins-moi ta radio, là.
This is the better look. I need a...
Non, je veux partir. Voilà.
Oh, Constable?
Oui, c'est moi.
Yes, ma'am.
My son didn't make any trouble for you, I hope. It's just that he just walked past us, silent and seething. That's usually a sign that someone's laid down the law.
I'm afraid so. He played a trick on me, a rather dangerous one. The lad left me no choice but to take away his wooden pistol as a punishment.
I understand. And thank you. Matty is a very lively child. Sometimes he needs a strong fatherly hand.
Where is Matt's father, if I may ask?
He's gone.
Ah, I understand.
Could you, leave Matty's pistol here, perhaps? So you don't have to bother with it?
Of course. I told him he wouldn't get it back until Venice.
Very well. Thank you again, Constable.
De rien, madame.
Mrs. Miller made a good impression. She wanted to protect Lady Westmacott from me, a pushy admirer. Very diligent. But she does seem a little nervous and tense. I imagine she has her work cut out for her with Matt. And a difficult boss, from what they say. An extraordinary woman. Talented, intellectual, extremely rich, and the most successful writer of all time. Yet, they say she can be difficult on occasion, and that she's rather unhappy.
Il me fait marrer à parler à voix haute devant les gens comme ça. Il passe. Putain, il est tellement lourd à diriger, c'est dingue.
I don't believe that... It's no use. The bolt is too short to get a good grip on it.
Alors, que dit le journal?
Let's see if there's any news. Blah, 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 blah. Eye of the Sphinx. One of two priceless jewels. Extraordinary pure ruby. 2000 BC, etc., etc. Old news. And here, shocking burglary. Professional thieves surprised by museum guard Charles Langley and Constable Robert Oliver of Scotland Yard. Explosion, Constable Robert Oliver from Scotland Yard. He was there when the first eye was stolen. Now he's guarding the second one. Luna's Drops, the calming herbal liqueur for women. A glass a day. It relaxes the nerves
Keeps the
and
doctor
maintains
away.
domestic tranquility. Luna's Drops, if you don't want to bother your husband.
Pour le début.
John Surtees won the Formula One World Championship for the first time on Saturday. He also won the World Championship in motorcycle racing from 1956 to 1960, making him the only man in motorsports to win world championships in both motorcycle and Formula One events. Not really my cup of tea. Too loud, too fast, too much exhaust. A story about the upcoming Oscars and Cleopatra's chances of winning. An incredible feat. They built the largest movie set of all time in Rome. And because of the main actress's many illnesses, several changes of director and months of delays, cost shot to over $40 million. The most expensive movie ever made. A record never to be broken.
On parle à Matt pour voir.
Hello, Matt.
Bonjour. Qu'est-ce que tu fais là?
Oh, come on.
Tu fais la gueule?
Are you going to be angry with me for the rest of the trip?
Until I get my pistol back.
I gave it to your mother.
Oh man, couldn't you have just raked me over the coals?
Would you have learned anything from that?
I didn't learn anything from this either.
Bien, bien.
The violinist is a good...
Oui, oui, tu l'as déjà dit. Bon, je comprends pas pourquoi je peux pas utiliser mes items. Ah. Ça me propose que quand il y a vraiment un truc à faire avec.
Would you like a butterscotch?
You think you can bribe me?
I have no reason to. You made trouble and got punished for it. Take it as a peace offering.
Just 4?
If I'm faster than you, there'll only be 3.
Seulement 4 bonbons? Putain, quel radar!
Friends again?
T'aurais pu m'en donner 20!
All right then. And no dangerous nonsense anymore.
Okay.
Your mother is Lady Westmacott's companion, correct?
Yeah, but it's not like you think. At first I thought, boy, you must be really wicked if you need to pay for friends. But the lady's really okay. A bit odd and really old. But other than that, she's great. She likes me.
The lady has peculiar taste.
Hey!
You and your mother, do you both live on Lady Westmacott's estate?
I'm only there for the holidays. Most of the time I'm at boarding school.
I imagine that's not very pleasant.
No, it's fine. I have friends there. You always have to be so quiet in the lady's house. And I'm not allowed to bring any friends.
Such a big house with so many places to hide. And no one to play hide and seek with.
You said it.
And how long has your mother worked for the lady?
2 years.
And your father? What does he do?
He stayed home. I used to go fishing with him. And hunting. He even let me shoot a real gun.
And then?
Then Mom fought with him. And he left. I was 7.
Oh. And how old are you now?
In 8 months, I'll be 9 years old.
And do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
C'est vraiment histoire d'arrondir au-dessus, hein?
No. We'll see. Maybe an actor.
Really? Well, I don't know. You need a lot of talent for that. I'm an actor in a theater group, you know?
You are?
Oh, yes. And I'm one of the best in our group, if I may say so. I get really deep into my roles, you know? I don't just talk like the character. I think like him. I become him. It's the only way to... Matt, are you okay?
Je suis presque majeur dans 10 ans à peine.
Copying things to be an actor.
That wasn't bad. Disturbing, but not bad. The Baroness in the second compartment over there is missing her purse. Do you have any idea where it could be?
Do I ever?
Mm-hmm.
That guy over there with the violin case?
What about?
He picked up something in Zurich and put it in his violin case.
Really?
Yeah, and he made sure that nobody saw him.
You saw him?
Uh-huh.
Did you also see what it was?
Nah, not really. But now that I think of it, it must have been the Baroness's purse.
I should look into it, shouldn't I?
I think so.
Tell me, have you seen the steward anywhere?
No. He was walking around a little while ago, though.
Hopefully they didn't forget him in Zurich.
What's he supposed to do?
I'm looking for a key to open a compartment door.
Did you check his things behind the counter?
I'm sure the drawers will be locked.
Can't you break it open? Or pick the lock like the Raven?
Perhaps. But I'd need a piece of wire or something like that.
Ask my mom. She has a lot of hairpins. She doesn't like the wind messing up her hair.
Thanks for the tip. So long.
Je veux bien devoir ouvrir, accrocher une serrure avec un bout de câble.
The violin case looks pretty old, But that doesn't say anything about the quality of the violin. The best violins are often in the oldest cases.
Bonjour monsieur, pouvez-vous ouvrir votre essuie à violon s'il vous plaît? Toujours à faire des tours sur lui-même.
A passenger is missing her purse. Perhaps it was stolen.
Really?
Someone saw you with your violin case on the platform in Zurich.
What's the meaning of this? I didn't steal anything.
Nobody
Donc tu ne feras pas d'inconvénient au pire
just
ton
wanted to
étui.
ask you whether you might have noticed anything on the platform.
Ah, well...
Why did you think I was accusing you?
Well, I thought... because you mentioned my violin case in the context of the purse.
Apropos, may I have a look at your violin? It must be a very extraordinary piece.
Oh, that's not possible. It's a genuine Guarneri.
Very valuable.
Very. And also very sensitive.
What could harm it here? Light? Air? May I ask you to open the violin case?
No, you may not. I'm not guilty of anything.
I'm afraid I have to insist.
Then I'm afraid you need a warrant. I will not stand back and let you rifle through my belongings.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Crève les yeux. Non. Eh petit, je vais bien occuper le monsieur.
All right, Matt. Tell me now. The violinist won't let me check his violin case.
Of course he won't. He's hiding something. Should I distract him? Then you can have a look in his case.
What do you suggest?
I could tell him there's a suitcase full of money in the next carriage. If he's a thief, he'll definitely want to take a look at it.
I don't think he'll fall for that.
Or I could
C'est un peu
assault
trop
him
gros.
and then run away. He'll try to catch me, and you'll have a chance to look in that violin case.
Now that I think about it, this is something I have to attend to on my own. It would be expecting a bit much from a little boy.
Little boy? You must be kidding.
Sorry, Sheriff, but your idea about distracting him is good all the same. So long.
So longer.
Tu plaisantes, je suis presque majeur. Il est bourré le policier.
Professor Lucien.
Yes? Do you have the key?
Actually, I wanted...
Please. I have to go back to my compartment.
Ok, rien de plus.
Pills. I'm supposed my daughter, but I was.
Bonjour madame, j'aurais besoin de que vous me donniez quelque chose.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Please excuse my unusual request, but Matt said you have some hairpins. Could I borrow one?
One of my hairpins?
It's a long story. It would be a big help.
Well, if you really need one.
Go ahead, Mary. The constable won't do it any harm. Will you, Mr. Zellner?
Of course not, madam.
Is this one okay?
It'll do nicely, madam. How very kind of you.
Merci bien.
Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Oh, I'm afraid not. I was totally focused on my work.
She's always got an awful lot to do, my Mary.
You have to tell me if that's not all right with you.
Good Lord, child. Knit as much as you want.
So, nothing out of the ordinary.
No, Constable.
Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
Allez, allons ouvrir ce compartiment là. Enfin de l'action.
It doesn't work with this kind of lock. I need something to turn the pin.
To turn the pin.
I don't want to imply that I'm an expert, but I think that this could pick a normal lock.
Pas celle-là, visiblement.
The bolt is too short to get a good grip on it. I'm at a loss without a...
Merde. Qu'est-ce que je pourrais faire avec ces spams du coup? Ah, je vais pouvoir accrocher le tiroir au bar là-bas, je pense. Putain, de toute façon, il se téléporte en passant d'un tableau à l'autre.
And suddenly, it's me who's the thief on the train. Whoops, that was easier than expected. Batteries, a toothbrush, shaving brush, but not the key to the compartment door. Just this one. Too small for the door, but it might still be useful.
Petite clé.
A key to a padlock. I'm sure of that. It's not the first time I've held one.
Ok. Il y avait un cadenas sur le boîtier à l'extérieur là.
That's it. There we go. This should help. My grandfather was a blacksmith. When I was a child, I used to play with tongs on hammers in his workshop. My mother never cared for that. She was always worried about my little fingers. But I never hurt myself seriously.
Little finger.
I'm quite clever with tools.
En fait, on n'a pas encore sauvegardé. Je sais pas s'il y a des sauvegardes auto. Donc...
I bet I could really get a grip on the bolt with these.
Well, come on then, hurry up.
Ah, ben voilà.
I barely left the window ajar.
Nothing to see.
Ah.
Are you okay?
Hmm? Yes, fine.
Sure.
Do you have any idea why the door was locked?
I don't know. Maybe the constant vibrations caused the lock to lock itself.
Peut-être que quelqu'un s'est enfermé dedans et est sorti par la fenêtre.
Well, then what's your theory?
The conductor could have locked it from the outside. On the other hand, it could have been someone here in the compartment who locked the door from the inside.
Who? And where have they gone?
They could have climbed out there.
Who would be that insane?
You tell me, Professor. So, what are you hiding in your bag? What do you have that would be worth stealing?
No, nothing.
No valuables?
Certainly not. Not on my salary.
It was enough for a first-class compartment on a luxury train.
That's my business.
You're playing a dangerous game, Professor Lucien. I'd like to look around a bit.
Of course.
Assuming there really was someone in the compartment, and he climbed out the window, where's he gone? He's hiding something from me, and I have to find out what it is. Wow, you have a very nice fountain pen. Pricey.
If you'd managed to decode hieroglyphics that boggled the best minds of the last 3,000 years, you'd have received a gift like that as well.
I really wonder what the professor is hiding from me. But I can't just rifle through the luggage of innocent citizens. This is the 60s. The Bible, Grimm's fairy tales, Moby Dick, and gin, whiskey, and rum. All classics. No, nothing interesting.
Interesting.
Did the burglar leave any clues? Here's something. Might be fingerprints.
Il y a peut-être un moyen d'analyser les empreintes digitales sur la fenêtre du compartiment de l'archéologue. Il peut-être aussi détourner son attention pour l'éloigner de son écu à violon à un moment. Non. Tu veux que j'analyse des empreintes?
Key to a padlock, I'm sure of that. It's not the first time I've held one. They're tough to make out, but I do believe there are some prints on the window. If I had a forensics kit, I could make the prints visible with carbon powder. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bon, ça nous avance pas beaucoup, tout ça.
I have no idea what I'd say to Matt. The violinist is uncooperative. I'm not authorized to search his belongings against his will and without a good reason, and he knows it. I have to come up with something.
Pardon me, sir.
We could have used you a few minutes ago.
On l'a croisé. Maintenant, je peux pas faire. Il n'y a rien de plus ici.
I'll leave the scissors here. What? Someone broke off the radio's antenna. This could be a long trip to Istanbul. I'd better let him read his newspaper if I don't have any pressing questions. Excuse me, Lady Westmacott.
Constable Zellner, how can I help you?
Coming back to the other passengers again, did you notice anyone else? What about the doctor or the Baroness?
I notice that you've asked me about everyone, except for the inspector who went in the direction of the freight car a few minutes ago. Isn't that the Frenchman who made his name when he caught the Raven?
I wouldn't quite say caught.
Well, shot. Why don't you ask me about him and my theory about what he's doing here?
I don't think we should discuss Inspector Legrand's investigation in public.
Legrand, right. That was his name. Will he save the day again? Or will you, Constable?
Another time. Farewell, Lady Westmacott.
Constable?
Westmacott. Du coup, il est parti où le steward?
I think the violinist is hiding something. But to be sure that Matt was right, I have to get a look in the violin case. How can I do that without the violinist's consent? Professor Lucien.
Door is open. How can I help you, Constable Zelda?
Bonjour, je voudrais fouiller ta sacoche.
I'd like to have a look around the compartment.
Oh,
Ah, j'avais pas vu ça.
What's this?
what do you have there?
It's a button. From a suit or a uniform, I guess.
The burglar might have lost it.
Maybe, or maybe not. If I notice anyone with a missing button on his jacket, I'll ask him about it. But I wouldn't get my hopes up. If there was a burglar, he climbed out the
Vous
window
seriez
and
intéressé
jumped
par
off the
cette
plane.
culotte? On dirait qu'elle est à votre taille.
Toujours. Tout le time bon. Et coucou la loutre, comment ça va? Oula.
Professor Lucien?
Yes?
Non, rien.
Oh, nothing.
Well, good.
Ça va, ça va.
Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye.
The Baroness seems to have a special personality. I better not bother her until I find her purse.
Ouais, ouais, mais là, il n'y a aucune de nos enquêtes qui avance. Bonjour Henri, vous avez vu quelqu'un à qui il manquait un bouton?
Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Thank you for your hairpin, Mrs. Miller. It really got me out of a jam.
Oh, really? That's good to hear. And thank you for bringing it back to me. Not everybody would have.
I'm a Swiss policeman, madam. I couldn't do otherwise even if I tried. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
There are thousands of things I would like to ask her, but nothing would justify neglecting my duties here on the train.
Très bien, très bien.
I made the acquaintance of Dr. Gebhardt on the platform in Zurich. I'd better let him read his newspaper if I don't have any pressing questions. An extraordinary woman. Yet, they say...
Okay.
Mrs. Miller made a good impression, but I imagine she had...
Rien de nouveau. Je voudrais sortir de là. Voilà. J'étais trop avancé. Ouais, je connais pas du tout non plus, je découvre. Je peux pas en dire grand chose pour l'instant, mais... C'est une point and click.
Matt It says the violinist put something in his violin case on the platform. Seems suspicious somehow. The question is, how credible is a statement from an imaginative boy?
Il manque pas un bouton là, non?
The kid's not on the warpath anymore. I don't think he'll be causing any more trouble. For the next half hour, anyway. I've no idea.
Peut-être qu'on peut retourner parler aux deux flics. Toc toc.
Inspector Legrand?
Anything to report?
I got Professor Lucien into his compartment using a pair of pliers.
Did you notice anything inside the compartment?
The window was open. Someone could have climbed out.
And the professor?
Acted suspiciously. He rummaged around in his leather bag.
Sasak.
He seemed to have found what he was searching for.
Good. Good work.
Now, perhaps you could give me some information.
4300.
All right. We should... What?
Ah.
The light's gone out. Flashlight! Get off me.
There, sir. An envelope.
Vous devriez vérifier l'intérieur du coffre.
You should take a closer look at the box.
What the dickens? It's
away with it! Take cover!
Si vous n'arrivez pas à progresser, faites une pause pour vous détendre.
Is everyone all right? Are you hurt? Quick thinking. Well done, Zellner.
Nouvelles images. Vous avez survécu à une explosion dans la voiture de marchandises.
Then he's trapped. Hurry, we have to lock the second exit.
Sir, there's a fire up ahead. The engine's burning.
It's a distraction. Hurry, block the exit.
But sir...
The fire will consume all the oxygen.
He's right, Inspector. A fire in a narrow tunnel is extremely dangerous.
Merde. Go to the front of the train, find the engineer, and tell him to move the train out of the tunnel.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? You have to uncouple the freight car. You understand?
I understand.
I'll see to the passengers. They should all wait in the tunnel. We'll check each one in turn as they go out.
Let's get to it.
Et du coup, toutes mes petites enquêtes en cours là. Oh. Du coup, j'ai raté des trucs en fait. J'ai plus la mission du porte-monnaie et tout ça. Bon bah tant pis.
The inspector's trap failed. The thief must have got wind of it. Worse than that, he turned the tables. To win a game of cat and mouse, you have to know who is the cat and who is the mouse. The wheels came off the track during the explosion. Even if it were possible to pull the car out of the rubble, you wouldn't get far with it. It's still quite warm and too warped to open.
Cough cough. Qui a cough cough?
Hello?
Ah, t'insistes pas plus que ça.
I'm pretty sure that the noise came from the roof, but you can't see your hand in front of your face up there.
Oula, là non plus on voit rien.
I'm sure I could uncouple the car if I only had enough light to see what I'm doing. My God, what a fire. I hope Constable Oliver can at least reach the engine.
Alors, petite bouteille
Carling
sombre.
Black Label, a British beer. No good. Insufficient alcohol content. For practical purposes, I mean. Not for drinking. Champagne. The finest. Maybe we'll open a bottle if we get out of the tunnel alive. Until then, though, it's no use to me. Whiskey, scotch, rum, liqueurs. Enough to entertain everyone on the train all the way from Paris to Istanbul. High-proof rum. Could be useful. Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight.
Avec tes cachets, voilà. Prends tes cachets avec la bouteille.
Pills for my heart. I'm surprised. A lot was damaged by the sudden stop, but the bowl was thick enough to survive the fall. The last of the candy has vanished. Measured against the exploding freight car, I think the railway will overlook the loss.
Bon, il y a de l'alcool. Est-ce qu'on va faire une torche avec ou quelque chose?
Oh, pardon me. I did not mean to scare you.
What are you doing here, Doctor?
Legrand asked me to check whether there are any passengers left on the train.
Really? No one is here, except for me and you.
Excellent. Then I will continue searching at the front.
Did anyone act suspiciously before the explosion? Did anyone leave their seat, for example?
I was the only one on the train who wasn't seated when the freight car exploded. Thank God. Otherwise, I would have been caught by the blast as well.
You certainly were lucky.
Perhaps I was. What happened over there? The inspector said something about gas canisters
Le mec,
that
il a
exploded.
des allumettes infinies, quoi. Incroyable.
He didn't want to scare you. The truth is, it was a bomb meant to kill him and the Bobby.
My God. An attack? But
Le random
who
Bobby.
The investigations are ongoing, but first we have to get the burning train out of the tunnel.
Oh, of course.
How are the passengers?
They are in a state of shock, of course. The blackout and the sudden stop were frightening enough, but then the explosion, the dust, everyone rushed for the exits. I was helping the American woman bring Lady Westmacott to safety. They are waiting outside in the tunnel. One entrance is blocked by a fire, and the other one seems to have collapsed.
Continue to search the train. I'll decouple the buried freight car.
All right.
Doctor? Can you give me a few matches?
Oh, certainly.
Vu qu'elles sont infinies, une seule ça suffit. Hein.
I'll meet you outside.
Do hurry.
Le rideau. Allez, plus qu'un petit bout de bois là. Et on peut faire une torche.
I don't see Legrand or the constable, but I can make out the silhouettes of some of the passengers. They seem to be unscathed. All the same, the fire is getting bigger, and I don't have much time. The chair either fell over thanks to the sudden stop, or an escaping passenger knocked it over. Wanting to get off the train as quickly as possible after a sudden stop and a massive tremor, that's understandable. I noticed the extinguisher earlier. Doesn't match the decor. I suppose that the railway company had to comply with safety regulations at the cost of aesthetics.
Utiliser l'extincteur.
It'd be useless against the fire out there, and it's too cumbersome to carry around. At best, I can use it here.
Ouais. Et pourquoi faire?
I should concentrate on uncoupling the freight car. I'm positive that Legrand has everything else under control.
Allez, bouge. On peut pas arracher un pied de la chaise, non?
It's not bothering me, I'll leave it there.
Prendre ses pieds pour faire une torche.
Pills for my heart. I'm
Oui, oui. Pills. Grabbing pills.
The coupling mechanism is down there, but I can hardly see a thing. I need some light.
Là, il n'y a rien d'autre. La 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 la. Oh.
Nothing.
Alors, où est-ce que je peux trouver un truc
The last of the candy. The other passengers escaped from. If I don't hurry up. That should do it. Can't really say the fabric was eager to soak up the rum. I, on the other hand, soaked up enough in my fingers to smell like a drunk.
Où tu vas?
Rum from Austria.
Oui, non, c'est bon.
The fire is sucking the oxygen out of the tunnel and filling it with poisonous carbon monoxide. Here in the Alps there have been dozens of catastrophes in tunnels that ended with death by asphyxiation. But not on my watch.
Not on my watch. Pourquoi tu veux que j'utilise l'extincteur? Alors, on y voit un peu plus clair. Est-ce qu'on peut trouver autre chose maintenant? Je pensais pas qu'on s'éclairerait juste avec de l'allumette, quoi.
There's a pretty intense draft here. The fire is sucking up the oxygen.
Of course! Ok, quoi ici que je peux m'éclairer avec les allumettes? Pourquoi ça m'avance? Allez! Mets le feu à la bouteille! Ah?
I filled the bowl about a third of the way with rum. Phew, strong stuff. I filled the bowl. Phew.
Phew.
Just as I expected, the alcohol burns with an almost invisible flame. The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source.
Mettons le tissu dans la bouteille. Enflammer le rideau.
The alcohol on the curtains would burn just as dimly as in the bowl. It's no good. That'll get me something like a Molotov cocktail. I want light, but I don't want it to come from a wall of flames.
Écoute, bon.
I expect the rum will burn like ethanol, but I better not test that theory in the bottle. Even if I could set the fabric alight, how would I carry the fire? The chair either fell over thanks to the sudden warning to... I noticed the extinguisher earlier. I suppose... Must be good for...
But for what?
I should concentrate on... Alcohol on the curtains would burn the flame. There's a pretty... There's a noticeable draft here. Maybe it's because of the fire, or perhaps there's still a hole through which the air is coming. The latter will be quite welcome. It will buy us some more time. I'm sure I could uncouple the car if I only had enough light to see what I'm doing.
Je n'aimerais pas comprendre le fonctionnement du mécanisme d'attelage dans le noir, il me faut plus de lumière. Oui. Oui. Tout à fait.
Can't see anything up there.
Je comprends pas ce qu'il y a à faire là. Ah putain, il touche. Vous avez allumé plus de 4 allumettes. Je vais pas faire un truc avec la chaise là.
It's not bothering me.
Et si elle te dérange, réfléchis bien.
I shouldn't be wasteful.
Arrache son pied et fais une torche avec, bordel. Compliqué.
I bought it last week, second-hand. I liked it because it seems to tell a story. It was set aside for a newer model, even though it's still quite okay. Pills for my heart. I'm supposed... I shouldn't be wasteful. One burning match should be enough. That'll get me something like a Molotov cocktail. I want light, but I don't want it to come from a wall of... I expect the rum will burn like The flame is hot, but it's... Rum from Austria.
Je sais pas quoi faire. Il n'y a rien d'autre dans cette voiture, et dehors je peux rien faire. Je comprends pas. Donnez-moi des indices. Et où la fonction indice là? Tout point and click devant en avoir une. C'est quoi secret là? Je peux rien faire avec. Je peux rien faire avec vos trucs là.
It'd be useless against the fire. At best, must be good for something.
Ah, casser un pied de la chaise avec l'extincteur. Punaise. Je savais bien qu'il fallait un pied de chaise.
All right, let's go.
Give it to you. Ouais, tu peux utiliser l'extincteur, je pense que c'est pour éteindre quelque chose, ou pas pour casser un pied de chaise.
The alcohol on the curtain burns just as darkly as in the bowl. It's no help. I want... The alcohol burns with a dim blue flame. It doesn't shed enough light and will probably burn out in a few seconds. Won't solve my lack of light.
Faut-il de la cire, de l'huile ou quelque chose de la sorte dans les parages? De la cire. T'as un bol de rhum, ça te suffit pas, merde.
Pills for my... I'm supposed... The curtain is wrapped around the wood and doused in alcohol. I should be able to light the torch whenever I want.
Ouais, mais fais jamais lumière à ton goût, alors.
I bought it last week. It was... Pills for... I'm supposed... The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. The curtain is wrapped around the wood and doused in alcohol. The material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol. Won't solve my lack of light. I'll have... It's taking too long. Time is running out. That'll get... I want...
C'est si compliqué d'allumer une putain de torche. Comment ça se faire sévèrement chier là, hein.
A fine, probably...
Mais non mais ça sert à rien ça. Non, y a pas de cire, y a pas d'huile, y a rien. T'as que du whisky, fais pas chier. Fais ta torche avec et fais pas chier.
The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light.
C'est quoi ces feux qui éclairent pas là? N'importe quoi. Mais arrête de te coincer dans le décor là. Torche avec les drogues. Ouais.
Some matches, and half of the book to get the flame going. I expect the material... The flame is hot. The material won't be able to... The alcohol won't solve...
Et qu'est-ce qui va régler ton problème? Est-ce que tu me désespères?
It's taking too long.
Et qu'est-ce qu'on dit pour moi, hein?
The alcohol on the curtain burns just as darkly as in the bowl. It's no...
Bon, Google, ça me fait chier. Est-ce qu'on a raté un pixel quelque part ou ça se passe comment? Sérieusement. Trampas? Hein? Qu'est-ce que vous me dites? Je parle pas l'allemand. Das was doch... Enlevez-moi ça, mais s'il vous plaît. Mais... Mais arrêtez! Pourquoi j'ai ce message au milieu de l'écran? Bon, Alt F4. Ce n'est pas si difficile, n'est-ce pas? Vous savez maintenant tout ce qu'il y a à savoir sur les commandes du jeu. Ok. Merci le jeu. Bon.
Pills for my heart. I'm supposed...
Oui, oui, pills.
I'm sure I could uncouple the car if I only had... Okay, I'll smear some grease on the curtain.
Il n'y avait rien qui impliquait qu'il y avait de la graisse ici. Rien. C'est encore quand t'examinais le truc, il disait oh il y a de la graisse. Mais non, rien.
I'm the god of fire.
Ah bah dis donc.
That's better now. Incredibly basic mechanism. The kind that lasts forever. A lever on a pressure sleeve running along a thread. Aha! I can uncouple it with this lever. Okay. There we go. Time to get out of here.
6200.
Listen, everybody! Listen! Robert, what's the situation?
Yeah, I couldn't find the engineer, so I got in the driver's cab myself and released the brake.
All right. Good job. You too. Listen, please.
Matty! Where's Matt? Where's my son?
Relax, madame. I'm sure...
Mais qu'est-ce qu'il fait encore là-dedans, lui?
Matty! No!
Au nom de la rose. Puis sur quoi pour être en évidence tous les objets d'une scène.
Matt, where are you?
Petite sieste à l'arrière du wagon.
Matt, are you there? Nothing.
Matty!
The engine and the coal tender are burning stronger and hotter. The airflow is feeding the flames. I have to decouple the wagons immediately. Sooner or later, the engine will be blown apart. Damn, that makes things extremely complicated. The emergency brake either was damaged in the explosion or was sabotaged. But whatever, it's not working. I think I should try to uncouple the locomotive. I mean, how else can I stop the train? I suppose this handbag belongs to Miss Miller, Matt's mother. Lady Westmacott's bag is probably smaller and more expensive. Aha!
Ah, un code Michel. Sinon tu peux prendre le sac pour lui rendre.
Hey.
Ah, bonjour.
There you are. What were you thinking? Come out of there.
Is he gone?
Is who gone?
The man.
What man?
There was a man. He was coughing.
One of the passengers?
I think he came down from the roof.
What are you doing on the train anyway? Why didn't you wait in the tunnel with the other passengers?
I wanted to get my pistol.
Your pistol?
If there's so many cops and thieves and explosions and everything, then I need a pistol too.
Makes sense. All right. First, I'll stop the train, and then
Les
we'll have a
enfants.
chat, okay? You want to come out? Good idea. You stay put.
Put. Keep putting.
Matt, look.
Thanks.
Cover me, okay?
No problem.
On va y arriver.
I can't get in. I presume the Baroness's luggage toppled over and is blocking the door.
pour fouiller, hein. On a le temps.
Couldn't you have just let it be? But no, of course not. And now you're here, on an out-of-control train in the Alps, responsible for the life of a child who'd be doomed without you. What are you waiting for, eh? Time to save the day. A large, soft towel, very comfortable. I'll wrap it around my neck to keep my hands free. The tanks don't seem to be damaged. The water is still running. When the high and mighty travel, they travel in style. The situation isn't that desperate.
Quoi? Un verre de quoi c'était? J'ai pas vu.
Professor Lucien's suitcase. Unlike the leather bag, he left it behind when he fled the train with the other passengers. I don't think there's anything interesting in it. Whatever the professor is hiding from me, it's in his leather bag. They see out of the window because of the smoke. I don't know how much coal is burning on the tender up there, but it must be tons. I can't do anything about the fire.
Tender. Oh, une hache. Ouais, vas-y, prends.
An axe is for emergencies. If this isn't an emergency, I don't know what is.
On est prêt à péter des gueules.
If the emergency brake doesn't work, I'll have to try something else. Here goes. Ouch!
Here goes.
Okay, we'll do it the hard way. If I go outside with a towel around my head, it'll catch fire due to all the sparks flying around. I don't want to risk what little hair I have left.
T'es sérieux?
If I go outside with a I don't want to... If I go outside with a towel around my... I don't want to...
On serait pas autour de toi.
I bought it second-hand and you... Matt saw something. It could prove to be very useful, but if I don't stop the train soon, I won't be able to use that information in this lifetime. Jumping off is not an option. We're going much too fast.
On peut mouiller la serviette peut-être?
It's soaking up the cold water.
Tu vas y arriver.
box works perfectly as a wedge, but it might be useful out here as well. Ah, the coupling. It looks just like the one on the freight car. That means that first I have to turn that thing there. That keeps it under tension. It's not working. Even if I could reach the lever with my hands, I wouldn't have the strength to move it.
The strength to move it, move it.
That should do the trick. The coupling won't release because it's under too much tension. That's not just smoke. I can actually taste lumps of ash. It's time for my deputy sheriff's story. I uncoupled the locomotive at full speed. Not bad, eh?
Do you think we'll get in trouble?
Because of the locomotive? I don't think so. It was pretty old already. Come out so we can have a chat. I checked the entire train. There's no one on it except for us.
Jusqu'où elle a roulé la locomotive là?
Tell me, what did you see on the train?
Well, it was like this. I wanted to get my pistol.
Stewart?
That's you.
And then?
When the guy was gone, I got up and banged on the window. I wanted to get out of there, but then I thought, what if the guy can hear me from the next car? So I got scared, and I hid again.
You did well. Are you sure it was a man?
Yeah, very sure. What else could he be?
A woman?
No. Girls can't be thieves. Girls are always honest.
If only you knew. Did you recognize the man? Have you met him before?
I don't think so.
Would you recognize him if you saw him again?
No. It was very dark and I was hiding.
Was he a tall man or a short man?
Just a man. I think he was a bad man.
Just a
Why do you
man.
think that?
He was sneaking around, even though everybody else was outside in the tunnel.
Maybe he just wanted to get his wooden pistol.
Oh, man.
The envelope that the man lost, where is it?
I thought it might be important.
I think we should have a look. Some cash, an Italian passport, blank. Very interesting. And here, a ticket for
the cruise!
What?
The tickets we have for the big ship from Venice to Cairo look exactly the same.
Interesting. May I keep it?
What do you want to do with it?
Take a vacation.
It's evidence.
And my chance to go with you.
The ticket and everything else in the envelope are part of my investigation. And you have no part to play in Cairo.
If I hadn't given you the envelope, you'd have no proof that the Raven's heir would be on the ship.
Ugh. The ship is his next chance to steal the eye, and he won't give up until he has it.
And that's precisely why you should let me come along.
No.
What else did you find out in the tunnel?
Not much. After we came out of the tunnel, Robert and I questioned the passengers.
Which didn't turn up anything new.
No. The engineer and the fireman were missing. They were found a few kilometers back on the track. Both claimed to have been overwhelmed by a shadow and thrown off the train.
But you don't believe that.
I'm checking their stories. One of them may have been paid to eliminate the other one.
How could the Raven's heir have found out about the trap? How was he able to put the dynamite in the box and place the letter?
The dynamite was probably already in the box when I put it in the safe. I didn't check it.
You had no reason to do so.
It wasn't my only mistake. I knew someone was on the roof of the freight car, but I let myself be distracted by that damned letter.
How did you know?
Too late. I should have reacted instantly.
And what about the ship? I have earned the right to join you.
What you did was extraordinary. Far more than anyone could have a right to expect from you.
And you still want to leave me behind?
You met our foe and barely escaped with your life. You may not be that lucky next time.
It wasn't luck.
You can return to Switzerland with your head held high. Enjoy your triumph.
I have not achieved anything yet. The Fiend tried to kill us, and he's still at large.
We're here.
Here we go.
Inspector Legrand, an urgent telegram from Paris.
Bad news?
It's about the unfortunate events on the train, and to return to Paris and explain myself.
But sir, what about the eye?
They want to inform the Egyptian authorities that there might be a burglary attempt.
Might?
Egyptian authorities? What if the jewel is stolen at sea?
I know. I never received it. Keep a close watch on the loading of the eye, Robert.
Aye, sir. It was a pleasure meeting you, Constable Zellner.
What is the constable's problem with me?
I think he's jealous. Scotland Yard assigned him to assist me, just as you were sent by the Swiss authorities.
With the distinction that he may go to Egypt.
Robert is to accompany me at all times. Your mission was restricted to Switzerland.
At this moment, I want to be sent back to Switzerland just as much as you want to be sent back to Paris.
I know, but I'm walking on thin ice, and I can't carry you too.
And the second eye is in that safe?
Yes, an emerald. It's been kept in a bank in Zurich since the start of the war. I personally took it out of the bank vault, and Professor Lucien certified that it was the real thing.
And while a fake jewel was sent by train,
the real one was brought here in an armored car.
How is it protected?
You can only open the safe if you have 3 special keys. Professor Lucien has one, and Baroness von Trebitz, who's paying for all this, has the second. The third was sent by air courier to Dr. Abbas Mokhtar, the director of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
So, not even you could possibly open the safe before it arrives in Egypt.
That's correct. We don't want to make it too easy for potential thieves.
Commendable. I hope you're aware of the fact that you're risking your career.
Indeed I am.
Why do you care so much about this case? Someone pretends to be the Raven, and you promptly risk your career?
What if he's not just pretending?
What do you mean by that?
It's his handwriting. And there's only one person who ever called me Nico. Have you ever considered the possibility that I shot the wrong man?
But What do you mean by that?
Let us assume, just for a moment, that the person I shot and who fell from the roof was not the Raven. Who would have cared enough to uncover the truth? The chief of police, the politicians? No. They wanted to revel in a successful manhunt, and it was the best thing that could have happened to the Raven. The search for him was over. He had no reason to fear me anymore. I had so many medals afterwards that he could hear them jingling kilometers away.
And now he's back? And you're the only one who can stop him? Does that sound probable to you?
The feathers, the letters, Nico. No one outside the police force knew that the Raven used to call me that in his letters.
Policemen gossip, and there are plenty of forgers. You can't seriously intend to stake your reputation on such weak evidence.
My reputation rests on something that I probably did not do. I have to find out who's behind all this.
Let's review. One of the two most valuable jewels in the world was stolen. Obviously, the second one will be next. And you suspect a legendary burglar who's been dead for 5 years.
Go on.
The second jewel is about to be put on board over there, in a safe that requires 3 keys. Our thief may already have the first key, the archaeologist's key, from the train. We don't know anything about the status of the second key, which was meant to be air freighted to Cairo.
We have to assume that he already has it.
Therefore, there's just one key left. The Baroness's.
Correct.
So, you'll need my eyes on board.
Look, you can keep your eyes open for me here on the wharf. I'd be most grateful. But when this ship sets sail, you will not, I repeat, not be on board.
But, Inspector...
We're dealing with a dangerous man, and I will pursue him regardless of the consequences. I won't let you get mixed up in this affair.
It's still my decision.
No, it's not. It's mine, and I've already made it. Good day, Constable Zellner.
Je serai à bord, que Dieu le veuille ou non. Ok, bon, on va s'arrêter là pour cette fois, je pense. Hop, c'est quoi bonus? Générique, galerie d'esquisses. Ouf. Non. Ok. Bien. Bon, le jeu est sympa. Après, il y a quand même des moments où on sait pas quoi faire, hein. Le coup de la torche, là, c'était un peu abusé. Enfin, le coup de la graisse. Il y avait rien qui indiquait qu'il y avait de la graisse à ce moment-là, quoi. Enfin. Bon, bah, du coup, c'est cool. On a terminé Morbide. On va commencer ça, c'était cool. Donc, normalement, demain, on continuera Psychonauts. Et puis voilà. Du coup, ben, merci d'être passés, les gens. Je vous souhaite une bonne fin de journée, un bon week-end, et puis normalement à demain. Allez, à plus.
Quoi, c'est fini ?